Good morning, you guys. I have my latte. I have to make this quick because I have to run out the door. Today is Axel's field trip with his school. We are going to the pumpkin patch. Super exciting. But I just wrapped on my part 2, so if you guys missed that, please go check it out. I'm going to make this extremely brief, but this is my 3rd part of my halloweenathon reads. So once again, I'm going to have hosts linked down below. I'm going to have my last parts linked down below. Thank you so much to Kelsey for doing this readathon. It's been so much fun. I have fallen behind quite a bit, so I'm hoping that this part will be rather quick for us, and hopefully I'll roll some high numbers this time. We are officially in Lauren's Haunted Mansion. And my first roll landed me on Meddling Kids. Watch an episode of a nostalgic TV series with spooky vibes, Casper, Scooby-Doo, Real Monsters, or watch a Halloween special of a nostalgic childhood TV show. And I'm including this because last weekend, me and James had a marathon of like Disney Channel Halloween episodes. So it was like perfect. I'm like, we literally just did this and I feel like I can check it off the list. But then I rolled a 1. So it might be a long vlog. But my next one that I rolled was It's Alive, read a Frankenstein retelling. And I have Frankenstein. This is actually the book 1, Prodigal Son. By Dean Koontz. I have a few Dean Koontz books. I've never read anything by Dean Koontz. I've been putting it off. It's been on my TBR for years now. So I'm finally going to get to a Dean Koontz book. And this is supposed to be what I've heard anyways, kind of like a James Patterson vibe. So like crime fiction or kind of like a whodunit type of vibe. I think it's like a Frankenstein retelling, but like he's trying to solve a case. I don't know. I will let you guys know. The back does say, every city has its secrets, but none as terrible as this. Apparently he's a tattooed man of mysterious origin. He arrives in New Orleans as a serial killer stalks the streets, a killer who carefully selects his victims for the humanity that is missing in himself. So yeah, I think it's gonna be like trying to find the serial killer. I'm gonna try it out. I think it's gonna be kind of like a Karen Slaughter, James Patterson type vibe, but it's the Frankenstein retelling, not really retelling, but has like something with Frankenstein in it for this prompt. But yes, today is Axel's field trip. We are going to the pumpkin patch, so I've gotta go, but I wanted to at least let you guys know that this is where I'm starting, and hopefully I can make some progress in it. we're back from a busy day. We went to the pumpkin patch. It was a lot of fun. Axel picked out a little pumpkin and I picked out one for Roman. So we're going to be able to do maybe some like pumpkin painting or something. We overall had a good day. Axel was just really exhausted, so we didn't stay the whole time. We dipped out so we could go get lunch together, and I just signed him out early. But I hit up 2 different Goodwills for books, of course. My favorite Goodwill is in like around the same area. I think it's like 20 minutes from the pumpkin patch we go to. So it was like perfect. And I barely ever get to go to this one unless we're like in the area or going that way. So I was excited. So I have a little bit mini book haul for you guys. Not really any progress on this book today because I have been reading another book for another video. I'm reading The Exorcist right now. But I'm going to start this either tonight or tomorrow morning, so I will be checking in soon with you guys. The first Goodwill, I found a copy of Frankenstein, and there is a little bit of annotations in this, but literally just at the beginning, and then it stops. I obviously didn't know that when I bought it, but I just thought it was a cute little copy of Frankenstein. I got The Return by Nicholas Sparks. I don't know why I'm still buying a bunch of his books, because I haven't read them since I was a teenager, but I'm literally collecting all of them. Like, they're some of my favorite books whenever I've not even read like half of them, but I was like, I don't think I have this one. I actually think it's a newer one of his, if I'm not mistaken. I say newer, and it's probably gonna be like 2015. 2020, it's newer. I also found Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. Still have not read a Lisa Jewell. Then my next 2 are really exciting because these are both 2023 releases. So that was really exciting. I've wanted to read Bright Young Women. I think it was one of the booktube picks for this year, if I'm not mistaken, and I still haven't gotten to it. So I'm excited to get to this one. And then I have some questions for you. Honestly, don't really know what this is about, but I've been obsessed with this cover ever since it came out, but it's a thick one. But my most exciting finds from that Goodwill, I am so excited. I found a Paul Tremblay, which I'm so excited. And the amazing thing about this is I have a few of his. I have A Head Full of Ghosts and Horror Movie, because those are my favorites. I also have Disappearance at Devil's Rock. So I didn't even have a copy of this, and I love the Paul Bearers Club, so I'm excited to have a copy of it now, and I thrifted it. But I've wanted this edition of Richard Bachman, Stephen King's, The Regulators. It's hardback. It's in such good condition. I'm so excited to have the copy of this. It just looks so good. Literally got it for $3. Insane. Then we finished coming home, or finished our ride back home, and I went to our local Goodwill, which for some reason I barely ever go to. I don't know why. There's just something about going out of your house and seeing local people, people that like know me, that I'm just like, I'm more of a go out and about when there's not people around. But I found a copy of Girl Interrupted with the movie cover. That was cool. Sherry Lapina, Not a Happy Family, which is a newer-ish, you know, like not very, very old thriller. I have read from Sherry Lapina, and I actually have 1 or 2 of hers. Now, this is 2021, really cool. I found this really cool book called Severed, The True Story of the Black Dahlia Murder. Thought it was kind of cool. I kind of want to start collecting some nonfiction, like true crime. I actually already have started, but I just thought this was really cool. I did a whole episode on my Caffeine and Crime podcast a while back on the Black Dahlia. So I kind of already know the case, like front to back, but I thought it was cool having it. And then I found 2 Stephen Kings at my local one, and I never find Stephen King there when I go. I found a copy of Misery, which I don't have, so I'm excited to own one now. And I found 4 Past Midnight. I didn't really want the movie cover one, but it is cool. I love Secret Window, and I love Secret Window the movie, so I'm okay with it. But I don't think I own this at all. I think I just own a book that has one of the short stories from this in it. So I'm excited to have like the actual whole collection now. Yeah, that's my finds. Oh, Axel picked out a devil pitchfork thing. He calls it his hell staff, so that's something. And then I found a Captain Underpants chapter book for Ro. But I also wanted to show you guys while I'm sitting here. Mama just got me, I think she got me Dr. Sleep, a hardback copy of that, which is so cool. I haven't gotten it yet. She still has it, but she found it at a Goodwill for me. And then she also got me this one. Look how cool this cover is of Revival from Stephen King. So cool. So that was recently, so I thought I would share it while I'm sitting here. And then my friend gave me 2 Michael Crichtons that I don't already have. I have so many of his. I really have to start reading more from him. But I think I have the second one that goes with this, or the first one that goes with this, or whatever, but I'm really excited for that. And then Airframe, which I didn't own already. And then she also gave me her copy of It Ends With Us, although I do have a love-hate relationship with it now after the whole movie fiasco thing. I didn't have a copy of it, so I thought, why not? She was getting rid of some books. Anyways, that is my update. I'm telling myself I'm not updating you guys again until I have made some progress on this book. Okay, we are literally about to head out the door, so I can't stay and talk for too long, and I can't even like adjust my camera because we're running a little behind. We just got back home, but we're about to run out the door again. We had this morning a memorial / like life celebration for a family member we lost. And so yeah. It was a good time though, seeing some family we haven't seen in a long time on James' side. And I was just busy this morning trying to get ready, trying to go. We had a lot of things come up. So yeah, we just got back home and now I changed really quick because I was like, I want to be more casual. And now we're going over to my cousin's house. My mom's in, my grandma's in, my aunt's in. I have family in. So it's just a full day of family. So I can't really be on here for too long, but I am reading. I bookmarked something for you guys because I was disturbed. So this is like a Frankenstein retelling and like crime fiction, but Kulian, I don't know how you pronounce his name, but he's like Frankenstein's creature. And he just described himself to this homicide detective. He says, "My one heart from a mad arsonist, the other from a child pedo. My hands were taken from a strangler, my eyes from an axe murderer. My life force from a thunderstorm, and that strange storm gave me gifts that Victor couldn't grant." I'm like, what? It's Victor Frankenstein who created him, so that's who he's talking about. I was just so disturbed. I was like, wait, this is the direction it's going? And he says his techniques are more sophisticated now, but he created me with bodies salvaged from a prison graveyard. It's gonna take it there, I guess. I'm disturbed. I don't really have anything else to say about it as of right now. It's just been weird. But I'm gonna try to buckle down and get through it tonight and finish it. Because I bookmarked that, but I am much further. I am now at 273. So I am much further. I'm hoping I can buckle down and finish it tonight so that I can check in, even if it's tomorrow, and let you guys know what I think. But this is not the Frankenstein retelling I think I wanted. But kind of figured it was gonna be this, but I did not know it was gonna be this. I don't know. guys, it is Sunday. I slept in and it feels so nice. I feel like I'm like caught up on sleep. I feel rejuvenated, ready to take on the day. And we were sitting on the couch, just chilling, you know, and I was like, what are we doing today? Like, are we not doing anything? I'm like, I might just work on some projects around the house. I've been working on our bedroom a little bit because we've just kind of put this room off. That is where I'm currently sitting. Don't mind this chair. This is my old rocker that I had whenever the boys were babies, and we've had it in storage for the past, 3 houses? After the boys were big enough and we first moved, like when Axel was a toddler, I didn't have room for this chair anymore. So the last 3 houses, it's just been in storage. And I finally have room for it again, and I've decided to put it in our bedroom. I'm going to redo it. I did buy fabric the other day. I just don't know when I'm going to have the chance to work on it. Maybe this vlog, maybe the next one. I don't know, because I do have the fabric. I want to get it done. It's just going to be a very like DIY upholstery. Like, don't expect any like super knowledgeable information on redoing a chair because you will not get that here. But I'm gonna try my best. I have like this like crushed like faux like black velvet. I think it's gonna be really pretty in here, and my whole idea for our bedroom is to turn it into kind of like a vintage Halloween theme because our bed comforter is orange and kind of like a crushed velvet too. So it's gonna be kind of like orange and black, and I kind of want like the vintage pumpkin and the vintage black cats and stuff like that in here. I think it's gonna be really cool. But yeah, so on the to-do list today is definitely, I want to finish at least unpacking this room, maybe get some stuff hung up because we have like nothing on the walls. I did organize my like side table area a little bit better, and kind of move some furniture around where we want it for now, but just not having any more boxes in here is what I'm hoping for. I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish my closet or not. I've still been doing my like lipstick declutter. All I have left, I think, is just finding my lipsticks around the house that are just laying around and putting them away, and then lip glosses. So it'd be nice if I can get to that today or tomorrow, something. We'll see. But we were sitting there chilling, and I was like, oh my gosh, are we not going to the pumpkin patch this year? Because like yesterday was so busy, and we had talked about that and how we were going to have to push the pumpkin patch to Sunday. And then we were like, oh my gosh, like we got to start getting ready. So I am getting ready. I'm going to wear my trick or treat shirt today. It just says always check your candy. I got it at Spirit Halloween last time we went. But yeah, I brought my makeup bag in here. Literally, I'm going to do the same look that I wore yesterday. It is just my go-to. It's my everyday look. It's so simple, yet like I feel more put together because I have like that reverse like cat eye moment going on. But I do have eyeliner on. I'll zoom you up a little bit. I do still have like some eyeliner on, but my favorite way to get ready is to dump it all out and then pick up step by step and then put it away like as I do my makeup so that I don't forget any steps, because if I don't do that, nowadays I will be scatterbrained and forget primer or just something. I'll put a powder on, I'll be like, oh crap, I forgot to do this cream. Yeah, today we're going to the pumpkin patch, and while I do my first steps, which is my just very lazy smudge liner, my brows, and my like primer situation, I wanted to talk to you guys about this book here. I had quite the time with this. I stayed up rather late last night because I really wanted to be able to get some progress done on this video, because I'd be lying if I said I'm not stressing a little bit about my like end of October and what it's looking like right now. I just haven't felt this busy in such a long time. Like, I feel like moving, hell yeah, I'm busy and I'm packing and I'm making trips. Truck was super loud. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, but like at the same time, I was kind of moving at my own pace and, you know, really being able to organize things and do it the way that I wanted to, besides the very tail end of moving. And that's where I feel like my life is just still not settled since that part of moving. Like, it's just been nonstop go, go, go since. I don't know if I mentioned it already, but Roman started back basketball. So we've had basketball practices, and he's at the age group now, 5th and 6th, that he has 2 practices a week. They're an hour long each, and then they're also talking about like scrimmage and planning that like after practices. And I'm like, so tomorrow, or I guess today too, is technically like the beginning of Halloween, you know, like it is the last week with Halloween in it. And I'm so sad. I see all the memes that are like horror movie characters sad, and then it's like me because October's almost over, and I'm like, that is me. I am so sad. I feel like the last like 2 weeks, it's flown by. Where has it been? And I was looking at my Goodreads and trying to figure out like what books I've posted, what books I haven't posted. My lighting in here for doing makeup is not amazing, so I'm getting carried away. I feel like this last week I'm going to be cramming in a lot of reads because I'm only on my 3rd halloweenathon part, and I wanted to do 5 parts, and realistically, planned out, I feel like it just kind of makes sense to still do 5 parts, so I hope I can start powering through and maybe get to a point to where I can start posting them like every other day, which just means I have to really up my reading. And thankfully, with that being said, I was able to power through this book. I'm not going to be able to hold it up the whole time, but I am talking about the book I talked about in my last clip by Dean Koontz. This is The Prodigal Son. It is his Frankenstein series, book 1. Oh my lord. I feel like I didn't really touch a whole lot on this story just because it is, like I mentioned before, kind of like a James Patterson or Karen Slaughter, where you're going to have these characters that you're going to follow into the next books, and it's kind of like crime fiction in a way of, one, it's crimes, but like one of the main, or a couple of the main characters are literally like homicide detectives. So they are investigating these vicious crimes that are happening, and it is right with this book, we're following this case where it's like a serial killer who is murdering these women, but like taking pieces of their bodies. So like they'll be missing their hands or, you know, like stuff like that, like body parts. And it kind of plays into the whole like Frankenstein creating a creature. And I know that I talked briefly about, I can't remember how to pronounce his name. I'm not really sure how you properly pronounce it, but like he is our creature. And I guess for me, it's like, it's a weird concept. And I did read the the foreword or whatever from the author, and Dean Koontz talks about how like this was supposed to be a movie or a show, and he was really excited about it and had like, you know, like actors and directors like really like backing him up for this concept and stuff, and it was going to be like a hit. And then they ended up making like, I guess like a bunch of changes to it, and he wasn't happy with it, and he ultimately decided to like back out. And this caused him to then be like, okay, well, I'm turning this into a book then. I'm going back, you know, to how I normally do my stories. So I do think that concept is really cool, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I kind of agree to a certain extent with like some of the stuff that's in this book. I'm just like, I don't know. It was definitely different for me. I can see where this would be really, really liked and really, really loved. Don't get me wrong. I feel like as the series goes too, I can already like sense, you know, like some kind of like back in the day when you were so excited for like Edward and Bella from Twilight to be together. And I say back in the day, this book is older than Twilight, but like those feelings that I had back then, like swooning for Edward and Bella to be together, and you know, just really anybody, like any series that you have started and you're getting that feeling. But I feel like in this sense, it's one of those where it's kind of like, I feel like going to be a dark romance, but I've never read Dean Koontz, so I don't know like how far he's really gonna take it. That may not even happen. It's just like something that I'm sensing. I definitely think the forefront of this book and this series is going to be the plot, which is the fact that Victor, what's his name? It's Victor something, but I think it used to be Victor Frankenstein, who is this like scientist, doctor, whatever you want to call him, evil madman, who is creating all of these creatures and just kind of putting them out in the world because he wants them to eventually be everywhere. And that is how Deucalion, or however you say his name, came to be. And he starts hearing about these attacks and this serial killer, and kind of starts working a little bit with these two homicide detectives. One that I kind of feel like, you know, she's looking at him a certain way, and I feel like it's going to probably turn into something since it's a series, is kind of the feeling I'm getting. He's like, I can tell you who created him. I can't tell you who it is, but I can tell you who created him because it's the same person that created me. And he like just talks about how this guy is like creating all these creatures and ultimately wants like the world to be overrun with them and how bad he is. And like, it's almost just like, are we focusing on this one creature, or are we just going to focus on this Victor Frankenstein who's creating all of them? Because I feel like it just goes back so much, like just back and forth, that I'm like, I kind of wish the book would have started with just focusing in on this one creature that they're trying to, and by creature, they look like humans, they act like humans, but they're a creature because they were created by the madman, Victor Frankenstein. So it's like, I really wish for the first book, since it's a series, that they would have just focused more on him and left a little bit of the knowledge with Victor Frankenstein out of it, and maybe wrap that in more towards the end so that book 2 could focus maybe more on Victor Frankenstein and like trying to like track him down. And who knows, maybe that is the case. Like I said, this is book 1. I have not read any more of them. No, I just kind of feel like it was like a little overwhelming at times, because I was just like, we're bouncing back and forth between so many different storylines that I don't really know what to do with it. It's like one second we have Victor Frankenstein and like what he's up to, how he's making like his 5th wife, and and then it's the wife's, you know, this creature that he has, Erica, we're following her, and it's like her thoughts, what she thinks and what's going on with her, and how Victor Frankenstein is treating her, and kind of like just putting those pieces together that like he's trying to create the perfect person that's going to like pretty much submit to him. And I don't know, there was just really cringe talk, really like jarring, problematic things said too, within some of these characters, and just the whole disturbing thing that I read yesterday about Deucalion, or whatever, his character in general. There's just so many jarring things that I'm like, it definitely is a Frankenstein story. Obviously, it has that factor to it, and being a crime fiction. So I do think it's a cool concept. I just don't think it was executed the way that I would enjoy. I just had a hard time with it. Again, I feel like for one, he should have just toned it down. Like I mentioned, make the book kind of just about trying to capture this one creature and focusing in on this case, because there was just too many point of views, too much stuff going on that I just felt like we didn't need. And with that being said, there's a bunch of really cool aspects to this, and it really is a good crime fiction. I feel like in the way it was written, because up until the end, it's kind of like reading a Karen Slaughter or a James Patterson, where you're like on the edge of your seat, like it's like a cat and mouse chase type of ordeal that I really enjoyed, because I do enjoy picking up a crime fiction every once in a while. So I did enjoy parts of it. I just don't know if this is a series that I will pick up again. I just don't know. I don't think it's the writing, because I don't think I mind the writing that much. It just is, it didn't feel, I feel like, unique enough or different enough, although I could tell you I've never read something like this before. But I don't know, something is missing there for me, and maybe it was just the overwhelming amount of all the people and characters being introduced, or just maybe just the characters in general, and me just being like, I don't care what happens to them. Like, I feel a little detached. And just some of it was a little much for me. Like, and I'd say like dark romance, because it's just like, there's like scenes where they're like trying to figure out what this creature's like next move is and who he's going to go after, and this Deucalion, whatever his name is. This creature, the main creature, he's like, well, I can tell you or I can tell you the next move or the next step, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, why? How would you know? And he's like, because I am one of them. I was created by this madman. I'm a killer. I did this and I've done this. And it's so dramatic to an extent where a lot of the time it just made me chuckle, and it just like would kind of take me out of the seriousness of a crime fiction book. You know? I don't know. It felt weird. I'm landing at a 3. I hoped for more, and who knows? Maybe one of these days I will be like, I want to know what happens next in this story. Who knows? But as far as that goes, I went thrifting and literally just picked up actual Frankenstein. And now I'm like, I kind of just want to read that. I kind of wish I just read that instead of like a retelling. It is what it is. I have to go grab my lipstick and my powder brush really quick, and then I'm gonna roll before we go. All right, I am back. I powdered, did my mascara, and decided to switch up the look slightly from yesterday with an orange, more of an orangish hue lipstick. And you guys, I don't know what's wrong with me. I think it is me talking so much about the fact that like I'm stressed and it's like crunch time on a lot of my books for the rest of this month and for these videos, because I rolled another 1. This is gonna probably be the longest vlog because I just keep rolling 1. It's gonna take me the longest, although I feel like check-ins haven't been as long, but besides this last one, that was pretty long because I was getting ready. But I rolled, and this is my 3rd roll. I hit Grinning Ghost. Read a book, watch a movie that features either a ghost, a haunting, or a haunted house. We're gonna run out the door to go to the pumpkin patch. We are actually going to just more of a local one this year. We were gonna go to the bigger one that is a little bit of ways that I went with Friday with Axel. But they don't really have the energy for that today. Even the kids are just like, I don't want to go that far. And we're like, okay, let's just go locally. And I want to look at the little pumpkins and like the mums, because my poor mums on my porch are like just dead. And then, yeah, just kind of have fun at this local pumpkin patch that we actually haven't ever been to. It has like some animals and some games and stuff like that. So yeah, we're gonna go check it out. And then I'm hoping to get back here so tonight I can buckle down and finish this room and get it situated. And either start a book about Ghost or maybe watch something with Ghost. I'm so nervous because I feel like Casper would be a really good movie to watch tonight because we could even watch it with the boys. But one of the things on here is read or watch one of Lauren's host recs. and one of her host recs is Casper. So I'm like, but what if I roll that? What if I land on that? So I feel like we're gonna watch Casper soon anyways. So I might save it for that prompt just in case and pick a different movie or go ahead and start my next book. I've only read one book for this, so I could go ahead and maybe pick a book. Monday, you guys. It's actually been a rather productive Monday for me, but I have not filmed at all. So I thought I would get myself ready. I actually have to go pick up Axel soon. The time got away from me. Yeah, my Monday morning was very productive. I've gotten like 5 loads of laundry done because we just go through so much laundry, you guys. It is insane. So yeah, I had bedding to do on top of like other loads, so it's just a lot of laundry. And then I cleaned up my kitchen. I did finish the bedroom, by the way. I have like my whole like perfume shelf situation going on now, which is so cute. I also put in a pumpkin apple muffin wax melt into my wax warmer in here, so it smells heavenly. I have curtains up in my bedroom now, which you guys can kind of see here. They're just like sheer black. And I have my window up right now because I've been reading in my chair today. There you go. I have been going back and watching Kelsey's sprints again because I've just literally have missed them like all month. I'm supporting, I'm watching, and they're also really, really helping me stay productive and motivated to read. And you guys, I rolled this morning. Let me catch you up. So my rolls have been insane. I rolled a 2 after last one, which we decided on a movie last night and watched Talk to Me. It was a rewatch. But kind of like for the ghost element of that. And then I rolled a 2. But this prompt was witchcrafting, DIY, a Halloween themed bookmark inspired by your favorite fall motifs and imagery. And I had to kind of use what I had. Thankfully, my friend had like bookmark, had a bookmark epoxy set or kit, and had brought that over and stuff. It's just like perfect timing that she had this, and she literally brought it over like a couple weeks ago and was like, hey, you guys wanna make bookmarks? And then we ended up just like chilling out that night and watching a movie. And so rolling this, I texted her and I sent her a picture of my roll and I said, you're gonna have to bring your bookmark stuff back over. So we made bookmarks and they all turned out so cute. She did like some vintage like Halloween looking napkins in the epoxy and they turned out so good. And then she made some for family. We made some for the kids and a friend. And then we also made I made a couple of my own. I did like a blood splatter with food coloring, just to make the horror element pop. And I have Michael Myers and like a chainsaw in it. And then I did kind of like a purple swirl, almost like my shirt. It's the vibe, with a collage of different horror icons. And I just thought it was so cool. We definitely want to have more bookmark making nights because it was so much fun and I feel like we could get really creative. We just have to like come up with some more ideas. After that, I rolled a 4. So this is my last prompt in Lauren's Haunted Mansion. And funny enough, I landed on read, watch one of Lauren's host recs. I just happened to get it. So tonight we're watching Casper. I went ahead and rolled again. I am now at Jaws Cove and I rolled a 5 or a 6 or something like that, a high number. So I was like, okay, it's picking up. Maybe the vlog won't be as long, but I landed on spooky season. Spell a spooky season related word of your choosing using any letters on the front cover of a book or movie poster for a movie. And I chose The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix because this has been on my TBR for so long. I also need to get to editing because my camera just cut me off because I'm so far behind on editing and I keep running out of room on all my SD cards. Anyways, I want to get to some more Grady Hendrix. I need to get through all of his because I'm missing out. I know I am. Anyways, this one has been on my TBR for probably 2+ years now. That's sad. Probably, yeah, way over 2 years. I really need to get to this, and I am doing absolutely horrible with my buddy reads this month. One group, I'm reading Katie by Michael McDowell, and I've read like 2 chapters and it's almost the end of October. Awful. I got the audiobook because we were moving, and then it just kind of has slipped my mind. I didn't buy the physical, so like I don't have it like sitting out to remind me. It reminded me today, and then I was like, oh my gosh, Billy, who is in that buddy read, is also hosting his own over on Instagram for this book. And I joined it too, and here I am, the very, very end of the month, and I'm pretty sure he's wanting to do like a Zoom or a meeting or something on this, I think on the 29th. That's tomorrow. So I have been working my way through this, and if you're wondering, obviously vampires, I feel like is a good Halloween word. Also, you can spell ghouls and ghost, and I'm sure many, many other things. So it also fills for my prompt for the Halloweenathon, but I'm also getting to one of my buddy reads so that I can hopefully participate and show up and in the Zoom meeting, although now that I'm thinking about it, I have plans tomorrow night, I think. So I don't know if it's going to work out time-wise for me or not. But either way, I committed to a buddy read. I'm gonna finish this so I can give my 2 cents in the group chat at least. I am enjoying it so far. This is about, from what I've gathered so far, anyways, about this woman who feels like she's kind of drowning right now, and I can relate. She has so much stuff going on with her kids, with her husband, with just chores in general and errands and everything else. And on top of that, it starts off with her having to like host a book club, and she hasn't got to the book. So she's like trying to figure out like what to say because she hasn't read the book. It took me back to the episode of Friends where Phoebe goes to like a book club and takes Rachel with her, and Rachel hasn't read the book, so like she steals everything Phoebe was gonna say about the book. And it's kind of one of those moments, and obviously they call her out on it, and she feels a lot better because the other women also didn't read it, so, or some of them didn't, so they all are like, well, it's boring, this book club's boring. So then they kind of start forming their own book club where they start reading like crime fiction books that kind of have like a little bit of smut in them too, and are like a lot more fun for them, like an escape that is fun reading, trash reading, if you will. And I just wondered where this was gonna go because the author's note at the beginning, he talked about how this is based kind of on his mom and the overwhelming feeling of being a mother and all the stuff that she used to juggle for him when he was young. And that's where like kind of like the Southern mom comes in. So he kind of got inspo from her and her busy life back then. But he wanted to put a twist on it with vampires, and he says they are that iconic American archetype of the rambling man wearing denim, wandering from town to town with no past, no ties. Think Jack Kerouac, is that how you say his name? Jack Kerouac? I think I'm mispronouncing that. Think Shane, think Woody Guthrie, think Ted Bundy. Because vampires are the original serial killers, stripped of everything that makes us human. They have no friends, no family, no roots, no children. All they have is hunger. They eat and eat, but they are never full. And this random guy is now in the neighborhood, and this mom, Patricia, I think is her name, she goes and checks on him after she has an incident, I guess, with his aunt who attacked her. And she checks in on him, and then he starts asking, he's not like now like asking for favors because he comes over and like apologizes because he was kind of rude to her. And then it spirals from there to them kind of like, I don't know, because like she's a housewife, she's married, but it's like, is this gonna turn into like something weird, like where she's gonna start catching feelings for him? Is he a vampire? There's so many questions up in the air, but like he's asking her to do all these errands and saying like, you know, I can't go outside in the sunlight, and can we take my van because of the tinted windows? Can you take me to this place and this place and this place? And he's saying he has like this weird condition, and she's thinking in the back of her mind, like, this is crazy. I shouldn't get into this van with this guy I don't hardly know, but this can't be Ted Bundy, you know, this can't be somebody like that. And I don't know, I'm enjoying it so far. I have no idea where it's gonna take me, but I'm gonna take it to parent pickup with me and keep reading and hopefully check in with you guys soon. So I can roll again and finish up part 3, because Halloween is like in 4 days. Finished it. I actually finished it last night, super late. And I just kind of needed today to simmer on it some more because I didn't really know where to land with this. I feel like it's a really, really close 5. There's so many elements to this story that I absolutely loved, and I love when authors do an amazing job of incorporating really hard-hitting subjects, really triggering subjects in a way of making it twist with horror. I just enjoyed it so much. I had such a good time with it. But with that being said, there is still some things that didn't really fall flat for me, but maybe I didn't enjoy them as much. And I honestly feel like it was more of the characters. I kind of had a little bit of a hard time with the characters. I don't know if it's just the Southern vibe, and I don't really want to say that, but there was just something about it that I had a little bit of a hard time with really resonating with them. Story-wise though, 10 out of 10, I loved it. I feel like this is a really unique take on vampires in general, but kind of turning them into an actual monster. I feel like so many books, we look at vampires in a way where we love vampires. Like, even the bad ones that, you know, we're probably not supposed to like, but we're like, you know, we like them. Like, think like Damon Salvatore, the Salvatore brothers from the Vampire Diaries. Like, they do bad things, but we just love their character so much. And it's almost like we can constantly forgive them, even though they're offing people left and right. And you just grow so attached to them. I'm in love with those characters, where with this one, it was really hard to do that. To a certain extent, it was kind of like, is Patricia having just a really hard time and with her life, that she emotionally is unstable, and is she just a unreliable source, or is this guy actually a vampire? And I feel like Grady Hendrix just did such a good job once again, like actually portraying a monster, someone that you're going to cringe about and you're going to feel disgusted, and it's triggering, it's jarring. Please check your triggers with this one if you have not read this, because there was times where I felt sick. Like, it was just not visuals I guess I wanted to have. But I feel like that's why I also liked it, was because it did touch on very traumatic things that have to do with real live monsters, whether that is Ted Bundy or any type of just psycho out there that has done this to people and has tormented people and made them think that they were losing their minds, and the gaslighting, the manipulation, all of that. There's so many things tied into this story, but at the core of it, it's a group of these Southern women who are getting together for a book club behind their partners' backs, kind of like just saying, oh, it's Bible study. Some of them, you know, when they're getting together and reading like these crime books and getting into true crime, and that kind of makes the scapegoat for everybody to think that Patricia is just like making this all up because she's been reading these books. So it also plays into that, but I think all of that, and then the core of the story actually being like, is this actually happening in our hometown? Like, is this happening to our locals? Like, do we have a monster here? It was just so good. I love how it all wrapped up. And while I think there's a little bit of a disconnect with me and the characters, at the same time, I love their friendship and I love the bond of them when it came down to the, especially more towards the end of the book. And it did remind me a little bit of, yeah, it's up there, but Killers of a Certain Age, the older women in that book and how they have to come together and they're kind of snarky to each other and, you know, taking it out on each other, but like at the end of the day, they're working together and they're just really funny and entertaining to read about. So it did remind me of them in a way too, and I liked that. I also have a spot marked or bookmarked. This isn't really a spoiler. If you do want to skip ahead, I completely understand. But this is a part in the book where Patricia's trying to calm her mind, and she's kind of just trying to go to bed. And I just really felt this in my core with the trauma that I have and just everyday life. She's trying to find a book that she can read, whether it's one of her that is more appropriate for the women to read, and she finally just has enough and throws it across the room, and then she picks up her copy of Helter Skelter. She turned to the back section about the trials and read about Charles Manson getting sentenced to death over and over again, as if it were a bedtime story. She needed to reassure herself that not all men got away with it. Not every time. She read about Charles Manson's sentencing with her eye until her eyes got grainy and she fell asleep. And that just really resonated with me, because it was like, I think that is what I always view horror stuff as, horror movies and just anything horror related, horror books. It really is, I feel like, a way to get scared and to get creeped out, but know that you're safe. And it's also a way, I feel like, in a case like this, and why I get so consumed in true crime in the past and even currently with my true crime podcast, is I think that there is a part of me that it is healing to see not necessarily the death penalty, but it is healing in a way for me to see some women get the justice they deserve as far as these men being locked up, and from my own trauma, knowing that not all of them just get off scot-free. See where I might have been a little triggered and why it was a little bit harder for me, but in the end, I think I'm landing at a 4 with this. I felt like I just needed time to really digest everything and it's incredible how much is intertwined in this. So much meaningful topics, and at the same time, just a fun ride with it being a group of Southern women who have a book club and that now are having to figure out and chase the monster themselves. Anyways, that's a wrap on part 3. I've already started part 4 today, but thank you so much for watching today's part. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video.